Good afternoon, Veronica. I just wanted to see if I could do an interview with you today about schizophrenia.
Sure.
Okay, so first thing I want to ask you, who in your family has been diagnosed with schizophrenia?
My ex-husband, the father of my 3 children, he was diagnosed, I would say about 10 years ago.
Okay. And what were the first signs that he showed?
There were many signs. He would seclude himself from everybody. He was always shaking, always afraid. He always had tingly feelings on his body. He was always hallucinating, saying cops were always out to get him. Every time he heard a siren, he always believed it was for him. Everyone that came knocking at the door, he always thought it was cop. Other instances, he would roam the streets naked, dehydrated, at times without a shirt. I would find him in the backyard, lying down, sleeping, crying. Another instance, I found him underneath the crib, like in a fetal position, crying. So there I knew that he was not the normal man that I fell in love with many years ago.
Do you think this was, how was this caused? Do you know why?
I believe this is not hereditary in his case because his family has no family background of mental illness that I know of, that he knows of. I believe this was actually drug induced because before I met him, he told me that he was actually drinking, doing crystal meth and cocaine and marijuana heavily every weekend. And I did not know anything about it. I just thought he would just drink as he partied.
Okay, can you elaborate on an incident that you fear for your life?
There's many incidents that I can actually recall, but the one that really got to me was when he stopped taking his medication for schizophrenia, and I believe he was having this schizophrenia episode, and I threw him out of the house, and that's when he got a hold of me from my neck and he pushed my mom up against the wall inside the hallway, and he grabbed my 2-year-old off my arms and was trying to leave with her. And that's when I threw him out of the house, and that has impacted my daughter ever since then.
Okay, and how has your family been impacted with his diagnosis?
The question is, they're still being impacted at this very moment. My 23-year-old son, he's doing okay. I mean, he's working, he's going to school. He still remembers how abusive his father used to be. He used to kick him and sock him and cuss at him. My 11-year-old, she's doing pretty good. She knows that she's accepting it. She knows we're better off without him.
Mm-hmm.
My 9.5-year-old, she's actually the one struggling with this, with an absent father in the home.
Yeah.
She's receiving behavioral therapy at the house for about 3 years now. That has helped actually a little bit, but right now at the moment they're on their second week of behavioral camp, which is like it's a life skills mentoring camp, and that's actually going to help her a lot.
I'm glad that you have help for them, and things have gotten better without him. You know, because it would be hard to have him living with you guys, as your kids would be impacted more. You know.
No.
So where is he now?
Right now, he's actually in a sober living home in South Central LA. He's been there, I believe, for over a little year. He receives county help such as CalWorks and Medi-Cal and food stamps, and he's able to work 2 hours a day as a janitor when he receives behavioral help. And I hope he's able to stay there because that is his only stability, of a home, because if he's on the streets, he'll either get arrested or he'll be in a mental institution. When it got really bad, he actually escaped from St. Mary's Hospital, Long Beach, because he was off his meds, and he was running the streets naked, but only wearing a gown with still an IV intact in his arm. And he was found, I believe, underneath the 710 under Path Freeway, eating off the street
was on the news?
Yes, it was. I would say about 4 or 5 years ago, I believe it was labeled 40-year-old homeless man running the streets where he actually developed hypothermia, and the ambulance had to rescue him from the 710 freeway. I believe in Compton, because he had escaped from the hospital and he was taken off in a helicopter. But that's not even the worst. He's been in the mental institution for a couple of times and in jail, in and out, because when he's off his meds, he develops abusive behaviors where he hits people in the street, he runs the streets naked, he throws himself in the ocean. He doesn't have clear thinking when he's off his meds. So at times I'm not sure if it's a schizophrenia or he's back on his drugs.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. You've given us a lot of information, and I want to thank you again. Thank you.
You're welcome.